Have you ever wondered if all the pain you've endured was for nothing? The sleepless nights, the doctor's reports, the funeral, the betrayal, the unanswered prayers. What if I told you that not one tear you've ever shed has been wasted? Today we're going to discover that God never wastes suffering. And neither should we.
Hello, and welcome to Under the Scope. I'm Mark. Life has a way of asking difficult questions. Why did this happen? Where is God? Will this ever get better? Those questions aren't new. Believers have asked them for thousands of years. The Apostle Paul certainly understood suffering. He had been beaten, imprisoned, rejected, shipwrecked, misunderstood, and eventually gave his life for Christ. Yet in Romans chapter 8, he writes one of the most hope-filled statements in all of Scripture. Listen carefully. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. That isn't the perspective of someone who never suffered. That's the testimony of someone who knew suffering very well. Today I want us to discover why suffering isn't meaningless when God is in the story.
Romans 8 begins with one of the greatest promises in Scripture. There is therefore now no condemnation. By the time Paul reaches verse 18, he begins explaining something every believer eventually experiences. Being saved doesn't mean life becomes easy. Christians still get cancer. Christians still bury spouses. Christians still lose jobs. Christians still struggle. Faith doesn't remove suffering. Faith gives suffering meaning. Paul says, I consider that phrase is an accounting term. Paul has examined both sides of the ledger. On one side, every tear, every disappointment, every lonely night, every trial. On the other side, the glory that is coming. After comparing them, Paul reaches an astonishing conclusion. They cannot even be compared. Notice, Paul does not minimize suffering. He magnifies glory. Sometimes people tell hurting believers, it isn't that bad. That isn't biblical. Sometimes it is that bad. Jesus wept. David cried. Jeremiah lamented. Paul groaned. But they all looked beyond today. Our culture asks, how can I avoid suffering? The Bible asks, what is God producing through suffering? James says, trials produce endurance. Peter says, suffering refines faith like gold. Paul says, suffering prepares us for glory. God is always working, even when we cannot see him. Then Paul expands the picture beyond humanity. Creation itself is groaning. The earth is broken. Storms, disease, decay, death. None of that was God's original design. Creation longs for the day Jesus restores everything. If creation is waiting, we can wait too. Our suffering reminds us this world is not our home.
Hello, friends. This is Cassidy. If today's Bible study has encouraged you, we'd love to help you continue growing in your faith. Pastor Billy's book, The Path to Spiritual Maturity, is a practical guide to moving beyond simply knowing about Christ to walking closely with him every day. You'll find it on Amazon, and you'll also find links in today's description. If these daily Bible studies bless you, would you consider partnering with this ministry? Your prayers mean more than you know. And your financial support helps us continue producing these podcasts, Bible studies, and encouragement for believers around the world. You can give through the secure link in the description or by mail. And don't forget to subscribe to Pastor Billy's free Substack newsletter. Every week, you'll receive biblical encouragement delivered right to your inbox. Now, let's return to today's study.
Paul uses one word several times in this passage: hope. Biblical hope isn't wishful thinking, it's confident expectation. The Christian doesn't say, I hope everything works out. The Christian says, I know who holds tomorrow. Verse 23 tells us that believers groan too. That word is comforting. Even mature Christians groan. Faith doesn't eliminate grief. Faith keeps grief from becoming despair. Why? Because we know redemption is coming. Our bodies grow older. Hair turns gray. Strength fades. Disease attacks, but one day these temporary bodies will become glorified bodies. No more wheelchairs. No more chemotherapy. No more funerals. No more Alzheimer's. No more arthritis. No more tears. No more death. That's our future. Paul says we are saved in hope. That doesn't mean salvation is uncertain. It means we are still waiting for its final completion. Think of it this way. When you buy a house, the closing papers are signed before you move in. The ownership is settled. But you're still waiting to enjoy everything that belongs to you. That's where believers live. Already redeemed, not yet glorified. Already forgiven, not yet perfected. Already children of God, still waiting for our inheritance. So how do we live until then? Verse 25 answers it. We wait for it with patience. Biblical patience isn't passive. It is confident endurance. We keep praying. We keep serving. We keep worshiping. We keep trusting. Not because life is easy, but because Jesus is faithful. One day, every unanswered question will finally make sense. Every sacrifice will be worth it. Every wound will be healed. Every tear will be wiped away. Until then, our suffering is never wasted. God is preparing us for glory.
Friend, if you're hurting today, I want you to hear this one more time. Your suffering has not escaped God's attention. He sees every tear. He hears every prayer. He knows every burden. And according to Romans chapter 8, what lies ahead is so glorious that today's pain cannot even be compared to tomorrow's joy. So don't quit. Don't lose heart. Keep trusting. Keep walking. Keep looking up. Because the best is still ahead. If today's study encouraged you, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who may be carrying a heavy burden. You can also find my books, sign up for the free newsletter, and learn how to support this ministry through the links in the description. Until next time, keep your eyes on Christ and keep living under the scope.